Hello, good evening and welcome to Prime Business. I am Pius Kojobaka. Economist Dr. Edu Owusu-Sarkodie says government's goal of achieving single-digit inflation by end of year is achievable if structural challenges facing the economy are addressed. Reacting to the November inflation figure falling to 6.3% from 8% recorded in October 2025, Dr. Sarkodie noted that Ghana's economic stability is expected to improve further by the first quarter of 2026, provided current policies are sustained. He spoke to Joy Business.
As we say in economics, all things being equal, if the things that we are seeing currently are the very variables that will play out in the outlook, maybe next month, next year, next 6 months, things are very positive with respect to the government fiscal discipline. Look at the 2026 budget. Government is continuing with the fiscal discipline. You've seen a narrow gap between revenue and expenditure. To the extent that the cedi is still appreciating on the back of the reserves we have, both gold reserves, dollar reserves, on the back of the favorable external environment, inflow of remittances, yes, it's positive. On the back of rainfall, good rainfall, so that we can get good harvest in the coming years. And the outlook is positive. We just hope that both the domestic factors and the external factors will continue to work in our favor.
Industries and manufacturing firms have indicated that they will have no other option than to pass on the cost of utility hikes to consumers. Electricity and water tariffs are set to witness its highest increases in recent times, starting January next year. The move is part of the multi-year tariff order implementation by industry regulator PURC. Seth Chumakwabwa is the chief executive of the Association of Ghana Industries.
Well, the individual companies will analyze it differently. For those who can absorb, they react differently to this. There are some companies that energy costs constitute a significant part of their cost of production. It could go as high as 30% in the case of the steel industry because it consumes so much power. In their case, if you have almost 10% increase in tariff levels, naturally they cannot absorb all of it because it means so much cost to them and it impacts heavily on their bottom line. For those that energy costs may not be as significant and therefore they probably can absorb it, they will do so. Remember, even when they are adjusting their prices, it's not proportionate to the changes in the energy cost because there are other elements of the cost that they are taking into account. They also take account of the competition and so on and so forth. So the companies will adjust differently. My other comment on the tariff adjustment is that normally when you have a cross-board tariff change like that, we get concerned. We get concerned because if you take water, for the big and water-consuming companies, their volume of consumption is so high, so that 15% plus adjustment means a lot of cost to them.
And on the back of that, the Trade Union Congress Utilities Regulatory Commission's announcement of new utility tariffs, which takes effect on January 1, 2026. Electricity tariffs will rise by 9.8%, whilst water tariffs will also go up by 15.9%. The TUC says the increases will wipe out the 9% adjustment in the national minimum wage and the base pay that also takes effect on the same day. According to the union, government is showing what it calls insensitivity to the rising cost of living and the daily wages of workers. The Labour group insists that the new tariffs cannot be accepted unless government returns to the negotiating table to top up wages for 2026. It says anything shortfall of that will lead to a nationwide mobilization to resist the increases. Meanwhile, Organised Labour says it will hold a press conference on Monday, December 8th, to outline their next step. Still on energy matters, Director of Procurement at the Ghana Great Company, Benjamin Kingsford Nti, is urging increased private sector investment in transition infrastructure to strengthen power distribution nationwide within Africa. Speaking at the West Africa Energy Corporation Summit, he stressed that such investments are vital to enhancing regional power integration across West African countries. More in this report.
The West Africa Energy Corporation Summit brought together energy regulators, policymakers, and private sector players to discuss strategies for advancing regional power trade and expanding transmission infrastructure. The summit also highlighted the importance of accelerating private sector participation in off-grid and distributed energy markets as part of efforts to close the energy access gap across the sub-region. In an interview, Director of Procurement at the Ghana Grid Company, Benjamin Kingsford Inchin, said private sector contribution is necessary to enhance energy distribution.
The power sector is such that you have the three linkages: generation, transmission, and distribution. If you have all the power plants and you don't have the transmission bit of it, the power will not get to the distributor who distributes to our homes. So requirement of investment in transmission is critical. Yes. Otherwise, you produce the power and it never gets to where it's needed. It's like having a water company producing the water and then there's no pipeline to get the water to where it's needed.
Council member of ECOWAS Regional Electricity Regulatory Authority, Charles Ndiaye, says plans are underway to launch a harmonized framework to monitor the cross-border electricity transactions across the sub-region.
Just in September, in ECOWAS, in Erera, we approved what we call the Regional Electricity Market Codes of West Africa, which will be the legal framework that will monitor all the cross-border electricity transactions. So to summarize, we have the legal framework that is in place, and we have all the networks that are interconnected. Right now, we just have to move ahead to launch the second phase of the market.
On his part, Chief Finance Officer of Sen Power Generation, Peter James, urged greater prioritization of regional power transmission projects in West Africa, stressing that this is essential for ensuring reliable and consistent power supply.
There's ways that you can bolt on transmission development when you are at a different phase of the value chain. Even Sen Power ourselves, we built a small substation. And we turned it over to Gridco at COD. And that is now being used not just by Sen Power, but also Asogli, and there is additional capacity. So I would encourage, with the private sector participation, that when we're developing these sorts of projects, we're looking also not just in isolation and in silo, but also how can we build the grid in partnership with, in my case, generation.
The summit provides an opportunity for players to mobilize finance and support deeper collaboration across the ECOWAS regional integration agenda and Ghana's ambition to be a regional energy distribution hub.
British International Investment, known as BII, which is of course the UK's development finance arm, is injecting fresh capital into Ghana's small business ecosystem through a $20 million loan to the First National Bank. This is expected to broaden access to financing for small, medium and large-scale enterprises at a time many are struggling to stay afloat. Here's a report.
British International Investment, the UK's development finance institution, has extended a $20 million loan facility to First National Bank to boost lending to micro, small and medium-sized enterprises across the country. The signed agreement is designed to deepen support for businesses that form the backbone of Ghana's economy. Chief Executive of First National Bank, Warren Adams, described the 5-year loan as a timely intervention that will enable the bank to scale its financing to small businesses.
What we're hoping to achieve is lending to MSMEs. So the backbone of any economy is your small and medium-sized enterprises. This is where employment is created. This is where impacts are made around communities. What we do at First National Bank very much aligns with building businesses. We want to partner with the business, which is why BII is very, very important, because they hold those similar values to us. When we talk to our clients, we want to be seen as partners. We want to partner, and we always try and partner with our clients. It's not just a funding transaction, an arrangement. What we want to do is help you grow, help you understand and navigate the waters of growing your business.
He noted that the bank will direct a significant portion of the facility to sectors with strong potential for growth and job creation.
Where we're currently seeing success and where we want to drive even further success is impactful areas in the economy. So agriculture is a big one. And then we look at our primary industries. We all know that Ghana is famous for gold mining and other mines, oil and gas, and where we will endeavour to play is the downstream services that support those very large businesses. Fast-moving consumer goods, all of it is linked in terms of trying to build ecosystems that will generate the right level of impact in the economy.
Managing Director and Head of Africa at the British International Investment, Chris Chijotomi, reaffirmed the institution's commitment to supporting enterprises that drive long-term development. He added that the partnership aligns with its mission to empower local businesses with capital to expand and create jobs.
90% of businesses in Ghana is in the SME space. About 80% of people employed in Ghana today come from businesses that are defined as SMEs. We actually have been investing in SME even in Ghana. The signing today with FMB is another route for us to get into areas where we ordinarily wouldn't get into. And therefore my ambition, which is with what I have with the team here, is for us to find other channels to deepen our exposure into the SME space. So SME as a segment is a big space for us going forward. But I think the partnership today is a big enabler for how we can actually do it with the right partner.
The facility is expected to increase liquidity for thousands of micro, small and medium enterprises, helping them invest, restock and scale.
The Bank of Ghana has held its engagement in Ho, the Volta regional capital, creating a platform for direct interaction between the central bank and the region's business community. The meeting provided updates on Ghana's economic outlook and ongoing reforms under the bank's new leadership. Ivy Setoji reports.
Bank of Ghana has convened its maiden stakeholder engagement in Ho, Volta regional capital. The forum brought together business leaders from across the region for meaningful face-to-face discussions and to brief them on the reforms and activities undertaken by the Bank of Ghana under its new leadership. The engagement also provided a platform for the region's business community to present their assessment of the economy, raise concerns and share suggestions to help shape future policy direction. According to the bank, the initiative forms part of its ongoing commitment to transparency and accountability aimed at strengthening economic understanding and expectations. Delivering his opening remarks, the first Deputy Governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Zakari Mumuni, underscored the Volta region's expanding role in influencing Ghana's economic trajectory.
You will agree with me that the Volta region is not waiting to be invited to Ghana's economic future. It is already shaping it. This region contributes significantly to Ghana's economy in many ways. We can see this in the fact that it provides strong platform for agriculture and agri-processing, vibrant cross-country trade, tourism potentials are immense, resilient rural and community banks, and also, you will agree, a very hard-working SME ecosystem.
In an interview, the Director of Communications at the Bank of Ghana, Mr. Bernard Otterbill, stated that the engagement functions as both a dialogue and a networking space designed to hear from businesses and enhance the bank's policy-making process.
This is a stakeholder engagement that the Bank of Ghana has put together to meet businesses in Ho. And not only in Ho, we have businesses from Hawaii and all the environs, some all the way from Ontario. It's a dialogue, a networking exercise. Not only that, but to also listen to what the concerns that these businesses have, so that it improves what we also do as policymakers.
Ivy Setoji, JoyNews, Ho.
Government says it is undertaking ongoing engagements with the private sector stakeholders to review the tax incentives and duty structure on electric vehicles. Deputy Minister for Energy and Green Transition, Dr. Rachel Jan-Mensah, speaking at the ERA Conference Exhibition and EV Experience, said the discussions form part of efforts to boost the adoption of electric mobility and strengthen Ghana's clean energy transition.
Speaking at the event, Deputy Minister for Energy said government is committed to aligning the country's EV framework with its broader energy transition agenda.
the government is facilitating the installation of charging stations along national corridors and public facilities. This initiative aims to reduce anxiety and enhance investor confidence in electric vehicle operations and manufacturing. And thirdly, the government is engaging the private sector and encouraging private companies and individuals to adopt electric vehicles. Ongoing discussions with industry stakeholders aim to review tax incentive and duty structure on electric vehicles, batteries, and charging equipment.
On her side, Deputy Transport Minister Dorcas Toffe underscored the importance of Ghana's EV transition, noting that a modern transport system must be cleaner and more efficient.
Key drivers of Africa's EV revolution. 1, abundant renewable energy. Africa has immense solar and wind energy potential, making it an ideal location for developing EV charging infrastructure. 2, growing demand for transportation, he talked about. With a rapidly expanding population, the demand for efficient transportation is increasing, making EVs an attractive and sustainable solution.
Chief Executive Officer of Cubica Energy, Leslie Alpha, welcomed the government engagement, but emphasized the need for stronger support for the private sector.
So let us bring to table all our bold ideas. Let's be open to collaborations, and let's be intentional in all our actions in these 2 days, because today has to be a value word. Today has to be one of purpose, and same will tomorrow be. As we discuss EVs, we should know that we are not imagining the future, but we're here together to build that future.
The ERA EV conference brought together policymakers, technology providers, energy firms, and transport sector players to discuss opportunities and challenges in Ghana's electric mobility space.
Still on mobility matters, in a move set to redefine vehicle identification on Ghana's roads, the Driver and Vehicle Authority has taken its campaign for a new generation of license plates directly to the people. At a stakeholder briefing in Teshima and Bono East region, officials outlined the ambitious plan for a nationwide rollout beginning January 2026, pitching it as a critical upgrade for national security and public safety. Anasabit reports.
We are right here in Techiman, where the Driver and Vehicle Licensing Authority, the DVLA, has just concluded a crucial engagement. This isn't just about new looks. It's being billed as a major step forward for national security and service delivery. The authority is moving to roll out a new registration and license plate system. Details on the exact design are still under wraps, but the core message from the DVLA leadership is clear. This is about making our roads safer and vehicles harder to misuse. Foster Akwesi Asante is the Deputy Chief Executive Officer of the DVLA.
I think if you have been following the news, social media, the print and others, it's been said time and over that DVLA is introducing new number plate with enhanced security features. You cannot roll it out without engaging the stakeholders. That is the transport unions, the fleet owners, the garages, MTTD, and all those owners of vehicle and all those who are within the bracket of stakeholders. So this is one of the interactions we've had now.
Think improved tracking, better fraud prevention, and a system that integrates seamlessly with modern security technology. For law enforcement and for car owners, the potential benefits are significant.
It's something that is in to help the public and every person in this country. If you look at the enhanced security features, the RFID SIM embedded, it's something that will help the country both in safety, security-wise. It's a good deal for the country at large.
But a nationwide change like this is a massive logistical undertaking. Here in the Bono East region, Regional Manager Alfred Basum acknowledges the challenge, especially for his staff on the front lines.
The workforce, we have the men, we have people who are trained to really listen to our customers and serve them. So we are battle ready to serve. We have put in place for all that. We are only waiting for management's blessing and those logistics that will demand that will make the work so easy for us. So basically, I think we are ready. All we need is that if come January 2026, We are able people. Why not? We are here to serve the people of Bono East region, and we'll do that.
So the message is one of partnership. The DVLA is preparing its systems and its people for the January 2026 rollout, and they are starting the conversation early, asking for public understanding and cooperation. It is a new chapter for vehicle identification in Ghana, a small plate with a big job ahead. The journey to January 2026 starts with conversations like these right here in Techiman. Anna Sabit, JoyNews, Techiman.
The government of Ghana has made steady progress in its first year. That's according to the Alliance of CSOs scorecard. But the report warns that delivery on anti-corruption commitments remain low and expectations trailing all other thematic areas. Executive Director of St. Ghana and member of the Alliance, Samuel Beku, underscored the need to hold government accountable for the commitments it has made. He made the remarks at the National Resource Governance Institute and the UK Ghana Good Governance program here in Accra.
An alliance of 5 coalitions and 9 civil society organizations working in mining governance, petroleum sector oversight, environmental protection, climate action, energy transition, and anti-corruption has released a comprehensive evidence-based CSO scoreboard assessing the government in its first year in office. Addressing the media, the executive director of St. Ghana and member of the Alliance of CSOs, Samuel Beku, reviewed progress on key manifesto commitments.
The government had promised to set up gold board to come and manage the trading of small-scale mining gold. That we rated it completed because gold board law has been passed or enacted. Gold board has set up. Gold board has been mentioned and allocated monies from the 2025 budget and 2026 budget. So if that was the promise, is to set up the gold board, we rated it as completed. And some of them too are ongoing, like set up NIMOS and fight illegal mining. If the commitment was just to set up NIMOS, we would have rated it completed. But the commitment was to set up NIMOS and make it difficult for illegal mining to thrive. And as a result of that, we gave it fully ongoing. So not all the commitment have we rated it completely yes or completely no. And so if you have appointed a district chief executive, part of his key performance indicators would have been the reduction of small-scale illegal mining activities, illegal small-scale mining activities in his or her district, an indication of how he has fought illegal mining. And in that case, you could say that at the end of the year, if they come back to the local government committee, and it's part of local parliament, local government committee indicators, they can ask them, to what extent have you fought illegal mining in your district? And they would be answerable to that.
The media relations officer at the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources, Pakwisi Shandov, responded by emphasizing government's renewed commitment to tackling illegal mining.
Level and the depth of devastation that we have now is not one that you can remedy immediately. Indeed, you will need a lot more time to address the relevant issues. But if you examine the rafts of interventions that the Minister, Honorable Emmanuel Makofibua, has implemented, you get the sense that really in no time at all we'll be seeing very significant results, more than what we have seen now. And so if we were to aggregate everything together, that is why for me, consistently on a lot of platforms, I have said that out of 10, I would say that the progress so far is 8.5. Not because, yes, there are some physical results, but I mean, in terms of even the intangibles, the amendments of the relevant legislations and all of that, we are not doing badly at all. So
the report concludes that the government has made satisfactory progress in its first year, scoring above 25% in all thematic areas except anti-corruption, where it recorded 23.04%.
Thanks so much for watching Prime Business. I am Pius Kojobaka. Next with Prime Sports.